The Gujarat Titans, led by the man himself, Shubman Gill. Stack team. We're gonna walk through it right now. They are starting their game tomorrow, the day we're recording, literally the day before their game. But lots to talk about with this team. Head coach Ashish Nehra. Never thought he would become a head coach, but here he is, leading a squad. So let's talk through it. What was your initial reactions on the squad?
Yeah, no, I think this squad, at least for the last few years, has been very, very talented. They've always really competed in any game, and I think this squad this year as well is no different. I think obviously led by Shuman Gill. I think it's a plus, as well as Ashish Nehra being coach. I think he's been a very smart coach, and it looks like he gets along with the players as well. But now go back to the players. I think very strong players. Obviously, best arguably the spinner in T20 cricket, Rashid Khan as well. So no, I think they've got an interesting bowling lineup, and they've do got some power hitters at the top as well.
Yeah, I want to start with the bowling lineup. So this bowling lineup looks really seriously strong, especially from the fast bowling department. Obviously, there's Rashid Khan. They got Mohammad Siraj, Kagiso Rabada, two test match bowlers, like proven performers in all formats of the game. They have Prasid Krishna, who's an up and coming fast bowler, can bowl pretty fast. Then they have the stalwart in Ishan Sharma. And don't forget Gerald Corsia. He's pretty good too from
Yeah,
South Africa again. Lots of South Africans in these squads all across the IPL, and that's good to see. They definitely have some good up and coming players coming up. He's one of them. And then on the spinner side, you have obviously Rashid Khan. You have Sai Kishore, who's done well in the domestic circuit, and Jayant Yadav, who's another IPL stalwart.
yeah, yeah. Don't forget Washington Sundar as well.
Oh
He
yeah,
is test match bowler, and you know how lethal he is could be in T20 format as well in India. But no. But going back to the bowlers as well. If you just think about sort of the new ball, they can give it to obviously Rabada, even Prasad Krishna with the new ball if it's swinging really, really well, and then boom, you have Siraj who can take charge right after, and then after Siraj, you have Rashid Khan. So really, really relentless bowling lineup with, I think, with each change, you will get a wicket taker, which I think is a big sort of option to have in T20 cricket because you have bowlers that look to contain or look to get the innings going, but real wicket takers I think are very key in T20 cricket, and it does seem like Gujarat has those on a lot of the fronts.
yeah, and they have a lot of all-rounders too. We mentioned Washi, we mentioned Rashid Khan, who could be considered a bowling all-rounder. But they also got Glenn Phillips from New Zealand. We all know that Glenn Phillips doesn't just bowl and bat; he fields. And so they have the
And
best. They
flies
have
and
the
all that,
best
yeah.
fielder. Yeah, and flies, I should say. They have the best fielder in the world right now in Glenn Phillips that can save them probably at least 5 to 10 runs a game, if not more. And then they also got Kareem Jannat, who's another bowling all rounder, Afghani all rounder. So they got a good mix of players that they could. It'll be interesting to see the squad that they could roll out because
Hmm.
the combinations are endless. And one of these foreign players are going to get left out. You're not going to
Exactly.
be able to fit all of them, obviously. So it'll be really interesting to see how they go about their combinations. And then when you go to, sorry, before we jump into the batting, anything else you want to add on the all-rounder front?
No, no, I just think as you mentioned there, it is a very interesting the potential combinations they could have because especially if you look on the spinning front as well, it may look light just because from a spinning department perspective, it just looks like Rashid Khan, but you have Washi, you have Sai Kishore who both can bat as well. So and you also
Manav
have
Sitar
if you
too. We forgot about
yeah,
Manav Sitar.
no, 100% him as well. And people have also failed to realize Rashid Khan. I know he's not listed as an all rounder, but he can hit the ball as well. So him coming potentially at 7 or 8, uh, that allows the batting to go a little bit longer than a lot may expect in T20 cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling that Sherfane Rutherford's gonna miss out. Let's talk about the batting. Just because I'm looking at the foreign players here, Joss Butler is definitely gonna play amongst the foreign batters, and
Yeah,
I would say Rabada and Rashid Khan's a lock. So that leaves that
yeah.
fourth foreign player spot open, and I think they'll probably do it based on conditions. But I feel like Glenn Phillips gives them a lot more because he bowls as well. I believe Sherfin Rutherford bowls, but he doesn't bowl as much as someone like a Romario Shepherd or there's that other West Indian all-rounder that I can't think of right now. Um, so I feel like from that perspective, Glenn Phillips, it seems like he might get the nod ahead. But again, conditions based. They could play Karim Jannat as well, or if they feel they need some power in the batting side of things, maybe through a impact sub, they could have the one of
Hmm.
the foreign players as an impact sub as well, right? Depending on the situation, and they could maybe put in an extra batter in Sherfin Rutherford too. So lots of bases covered with their squad. Anything else you want to add on the batting front?
Yeah, no, I think obviously on the batting front, we did mention, Joss Butler obviously being a lock. I think as well, it's going to be really, really interesting to see if Shimon Gill really picks it up a notch, especially in T20 cricket. I think it's going to be a very key season for him. So, I'm just looking forward to see how he leads up front because I think we can expect him to open up the batting with Joss Butler. So I think that'll be very interesting to watch.
For sure, that would be super interesting because Shubman Gill doesn't have his spot in the T20 team. It's currently
Hmm.
being occupied by Abhishek and Samson with Yashashvi Jaiswal in the wings. So he's got a lot to prove as a T20 player. And yeah, we might see him at the top. I could see him coming one down as well. I could see Sai Sudarshan opening up with Joss Butler, left right
Very good
combination,
point.
and have
Yep,
Shubman
yep.
come one down. I totally see that happening, especially since I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he comes one down in wonders, doesn't he?
Yep,
Because
yep.
it was
No, no, no.
who opened the batting?
No, no. He
Was
opens.
it
He
him?
opens. Kohli
Was
comes
it
down. Kohli,
he
Kohli's number
opens? Never
three.
mind, never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe we see him at three just because of the gluttony of openers that India has at their disposal. Because keep in mind, Virat's not playing T20 anymore, so that one of those spots is available. And I think it's that number three spot. Right now, I believe it's interchange between Tilak Varma and Sky in the Indian team. But I feel like Shubman Gill could play in there, and then they could slot in 4 or 5 as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really interesting notion there of potentially using the IPL to sort of see how you best fit within a national side. I think India does that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So no, I think that'll be very interesting to see. And if we do see that progression, at least not in the beginning of the season, if we see that throughout the season, at least we can perhaps go back to this conversation and look back and be like, oh, see, like this is why potentially it's going that way. So no, I think it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Do you feel that they have enough Indian batting though? I feel like it's Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan, and the other ones aren't as proven. Iwashi is more of a bowler. He could maybe I know he's come up in the ranks as a batsman, but we still haven't seen him in the T20 format play like a substantial innings. He'll give you cameos, and same with the other names that I see here. Like I haven't heard of them making substantial scores. Shah Rukh Khan's been talked about as a finisher, a hitter, but like I don't see him making those big scores in a T20 match, but maybe you don't need that. I don't know.
No, that's a good point. And I think to answer your question, I think if you look at the combination and sort of the restrictions of because of the foreign players, I think we are going to be seeing Shah Rukh Khan and Sai Sudarshan bat for sure. So a little bit more of that Indian. Sorry, a few names at least for where the Indian batters are going to be coming from. And I think yeah, to your point on Shah Rukh Khan, I think he had a few key games for Punjab Kings last season, but I think, yeah, especially to have your position on in lock, because I can see potentially coming at 5 and 6. Um, he's gonna have to perform really well. And as to your point, it's only so much Washington could do. Because I definitely think they were gonna play Washington Cinder. So I think yeah, a lot of the runs would have to be coming from Sai Sudarshan, as we mentioned, could be coming at either 1, 2, or 3. And of course, I think Shah Rukh Khan as well if he's coming down at 5 or 6.
You think Josh Butler's going to wicket keep? There's three
He
keepers in the
could.
lineup.
I think he might as well give it to Sai Sudarshan. Just focus on the game, and then maybe perhaps even
Sai
use Joss.
Sudarshan's a keeper?
Sorry, not Sai Sudarshan. Oh my gosh, forgot the name. Uh,
So they're gonna have to play either Anuj
Oh,
Rawat or
Anuj
Kumar
Rawat. Sorry, I was
Prasad.
confusing Anuj Rawat because he was also a batter and wicketkeeper for Delhi a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're saying Butler just give up. Well, he doesn't really
No,
keep much off late.
but I think he's gonna have to because otherwise you waste
I
impact sub,
feel I
right?
feel that that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like they might because they have three keepers. I feel like they're gonna play and they're gonna have to play a keeper separate to Butler. Um, but let's see how they go. Let's see how they go. Because otherwise, why would you name three keepers in the lineup?
So then what? They're going to be, but then Butler's gonna be fielding.
Yeah, like he does for England.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's
I
what
thought
I
maybe
see.
sub him
That's
off
what
for
I see.
impact
Yeah,
player, but fair enough.
yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Depending how they wanna what lineup they wanna put out there. Well, yeah. Let's see how it goes. So, who do you see as your key player for the Guju team?
I think key player. I think it's gonna be hard to pass Rashid Khan. I think what he brings to the
Yeah.
T20 game year in and year out, Mr. Reliable all the time. And when the ball is in his hand, everyone is expecting a wicket. So I think, if he performs to his best, I think a lot of the games could be very heavily favored in towards a win for Gujarat. So I think it's going to be Rashid Khan, and he's pretty handy with the bat at times as well. So, with both in consideration,
He
Rashid
is,
Khan for
he
me.
is. Yeah, I'm gonna go the same route. I'm gonna go Rashid Khan as well. I think his performance is definitely key to any team that he's on. And if Rashid Khan does well, most of the time that team ends up on the winning side. You see that with Afghanistan, you see that with the other teams as well that he plays on, in the SAT 20 as well,
Hmm.
that recently occurred. Yeah, definitely feel he's a key player for the team.
Fair enough. And Tron, who do you think will be sort of the underlooked player from your end?
Ishan Sharma. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go for underrated. I'm actually gonna go Sai Sudarshan. He had some good innings
Okay,
in the
full
last.
disclosure, that was mine too. Full disclosure. That's crazy.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think he's such an elegant batsman. He's like a left-handed version of Shubman Gill. He has all the shots of the game, and he plays really well. He knows how to change gears. He knows how to play in any match situation, at least from what he's shown us in the last couple IPL seasons. And I feel that his nonchalant way of batting sometimes goes unrecognized. But it is beautiful to watch.
No, no, and I could not agree more. I think his attitude is somewhat maybe like KL Rahul's, and even his
He's quiet,
classiness as well.
quiet.
His quietness and but hey, I've watched some of I think his under 19 days as well. He's not willing to look down as well. He's willing to look right back at the bowler. You won't say anything, but he'll stare right back at you. So I think he has that aggressiveness that's needed as well. And for me, I think at least in the last 2 3 years, there's been discussions of him eventually pushing way into the national side, sort of being that wave of new players. I think that's yet to happen,
Mhm.
but I'm very excited to see how he blossoms towards that because I think one, as you mentioned, very elegant player, very smart, and he can really change a game. So no, I think he's a very underrated player, and I want to see him just to keep on improving for the T20 format as well as for maybe longer formats in India.
Yeah, this is a bit of a sidebar comment, but it came to my mind. Some of these players that we mentioned, like Sai Sudarshan, even Shubman Gill, who can't break into, for example, the T20 team. Some of these players may never ever break into the team, just because of the amount of talent that is there. And you're gonna have players that are going to miss out on playing international cricket until unless somehow the ICC or BCCI creates like an India B that is also allowed to play.
That's
Like
eligible
it's
to
not
tour.
happening. Yeah.
I know. No, no, no. I completely agree. And I think I started to realize that when you looked at some of the older crops of players, always asking the question of, why didn't Robin Uthappa play so many games? Or why didn't Dinesh
Yeah.
Karthik play so many games? Well,
Dinesh Karthik. Yeah.
because you had Dhoni there. Like, and to your point, I get that answer. It's because you had Dhoni there. But we see that to your point, even now, it's you have those players obviously stepping down, but you have a lineup of six, seven openers, to 4 or 5 people who could potentially take one down. So no, it is definitely a pleasure to have that abundance, but at the human level, at the player level, you do feel for them 100%.
Yeah, yeah, but nothing makes life better than getting an IPL contract. That money is nice.
I 100%. I think yeah, at least one solace from the at least from this crop of players is at least y'all getting
Yeah,
paid.
yeah. Awesome. So where do you see Gujarat Titans ending the season?
Ooh, I think it's a very interesting question. I have my top four. That's locked, but I can see them maybe push for a late run or sort of flirt with that 4 or 5 position. So I'm still gonna say no playoffs for them, but I think they're very strong to sort of flirt into playoff contention late on into the season. So that's where I'll stand with Gujarat. Yourself?
Okay, well, I don't have my Ford locked, and there's only one team left on our preview series here, and Gujarat Titans is going to be my number four. I think they had a bad-ish season, no, a pretty terrible season actually last year. I
Yeah.
think they'll definitely bounce back this year. I feel that this roster is really strong as we went through. They got all bases covered. They can play different types of lineups on different occasions. They can chop and change. There's obviously going to be a core set that they're going to always play. But I think they have a lot of different combinations, which is what I believe you need in the T20 format, something that Chennai does really well. And
Hmm.
I think Gujarat, they're only 3 years old as a franchise, and they've been to the finals twice out of 3 years. That's pretty damn good. So um, I'm gonna say that they're gonna reach the top four.
Wow, great call. At least it'll be good for Shimon Gill.
Yeah, it should be good for him and his captaincy. So yeah, good place to wrap it up there. Don't forget to like and subscribe.